is a genetic laboratory on a massive scale. A closed-loop system being controlled by a quantum artificial intelligence that is able to manipulate the electromagnetic fields, which is our light spectrum. Our souls have been trapped and recycled time and time again for thousands and thousands of years. Don't believe me? That's fine. Feel it for yourself.
I don't believe that our souls are reincarnated or our spirits and we're on this loop. I don't think that happens. But I do think what this gentleman is saying is partially true in the sense that this place is some type of quantum digital setup. I'm not going to say a simulation, but it's a fixed system, a fixed enclosed system that God has set up a certain way. Now, this is what the tree of the knowledge of good and evil was talking about, I believe, in part. The knowledge on how God set this place up and the knowledge of how to do it yourself. That is why Apple Computers has the logo of a fruit with a bite out of it. That is why Steve Jobs talks about he learned how to do the internet and all these things by taking LSD, because his pineal gland, the third eye that connects us to this realm, so to speak, in a way, is opened. And that is what the Bible is talking about in Genesis chapter 3, that Adam and Eve's eyes, after they ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, their eyes were opened. Again, I believe this is connected to the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, knowing how this place works. There's something called the Akashic Records, in which the belief is that all around us in the ether, you can find the past, present, and future. All knowledge that exists in this place is, basically like they're doing. It's in the cloud. It's in the cloud. And it's interesting how the Bible uses the same language for the rapture. We're caught up in the cloud to meet the Lord in the air. Also in the Old Testament, how I show that in Exodus chapter 40, that is a type and shadow of the rapture. But what it says is that the cloud was hovering on the tabernacle of Israel, their camp, and it was filled with the glory of God. And when that cloud would go up, then they were able to move forward. So that's a picture of the rapture, being caught up in the cloud, and Israel is able to continue on their journey. But the same verbiage, the cloud, right? And the same symbolism, they show you in symbolism. That's why the first Apple computer was $666.66. Okay, they put it all there. It's all there for you. And this is the knowledge of good and evil, in which it would make you wise and be as gods. That's what the devil said, right? And to a certain extent, that's true, in that they have basically hacked the system, and that is how they create these things like weather control, HARP and CERN, the LHC, the Large Hadron Collider, because this is the knowledge that God did not want man to, mess with, because you'd mess up what he created here. That's why they push unnatural things. They don't live naturally, as far as I know, as far as God's laws and the way it's supposed to be, because they believe that they are just like gods. We can do the same thing as you. And that's exactly what Lucifer said. He said, I will be like the Most High. I will ascend above the clouds. And this is the knowledge of the tree of good and evil. Now, all of this takes us to another piece of this study, and that is worshiping the creation and not the creator. Here we are in Romans chapter 1, the King James Bible. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. Now here is why they became fools. and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. This takes me directly to Jeremiah chapter 10. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain, for one cutteth the tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold, they fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs to be born. Because they cannot go, be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good. So, what is this all about? The Christmas tree. Well, what they would do is worship this tree, but what is the tree symbolic of? That is what the key is. You see, everything done in the physical is symbolic of something in the spiritual or something much deeper than what we actually see. See, like most people, most Christians do this as kind of like a harmless, fun thing. And I get that. I don't do it anymore. You know, the Christmas tree, decking it with silver and gold and putting the star on top. But what is it? Well, back in the day, the reason that they used to do this is because they used to worship these things. But what is it that they're actually worshiping? Is it the tree itself? No, not really. What that is the pineal gland. It's the worship of creation, the third eye. You see, and this all goes back to the knowledge of good and evil. This is where we are connected in our mind to the spiritual realm, so to speak. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil, get it? The Christmas tree, symbolic of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, where it all comes in at, which is our pineal gland. Also, notice the gifts under the tree. We know that the Bible says that every good gift comes from our Father above. Well, where does He send this knowledge and understanding and love and truth? Through the same place, through our pineal gland. This is where we are connected to the spiritual realm. But as Christians, we know not to worship the creation, but to worship the Creator. That's a big difference. Always remember that God said about Lucifer that he had great wisdom. That's how he was created. But it became corrupted wisdom. That is why there is good and evil. There is much truth, much wisdom that the Illuminati know and understand. But it's corrupted wisdom because it's coming from a corrupted source. Satan, the enemy, is also spirit. You see, when God created man, man was perfect. Man was perfect. If you type in perfection in the gematria calculator, it's 666. The number of man. The atoms that were made of are 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, and 6 protons. So what they are trying to do is get back to the state of the garden through technology and perfect man without God, which is so dumb to me, because why not just worship the Creator? This is why Jesus said, I am the door. He said that there is no other way up or out to the Father. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Through Jesus Christ, God said, He promised us, look, if you do it my way, I want you to do it my way because this is the right way, then I will make you whole again. I will make you perfect again. The Bible says that Christ died so that we might become the righteousness of God. But for some reason, the people, the powers that be, they don't want to do it that way. They want to go up their own way through technology and transhumanism and all types of things through the knowledge of good and evil. And this is what all of this is about. They don't want to take God's way, they want to do it their own way. This is why the Skull and Bones, the secret society that's not so secret anymore, but the Skull and Bones secret society uses the number 322 because Genesis chapter 3 verse 22 talks about if they don't eat from the tree of life, then they will surely die. Now, the tree of life to them now is this technology through transhumanism and doing it on your own with your own works. This even goes back to Abel and Cain. Abel brought the sacrifice and was justified before the eyes of God, and Cain brought the works of his hand and of the ground and was not justified in the sight of God. It's all connected. The Bible is all showing us this one thing. And it's amazing to me because when you look into Freemasonry, again, they believe in, doing it yourself and building Solomon's temple and all of the Antichrist things, types and shadows in the Bible. That's what Solomon's temple was. And what is it in part? It's, doing it on your own, bringing your own works to God and justifying yourself. That's the wrong way to do it. And again, that's what all this is about. Genesis 3:22, the tree of life there that God is speaking about is Jesus Christ. He is the true way, the truth, and the life. He is the tree of life. But again, that's not what they want to believe. And that is what's going on.